Great radio stations across the land, joepags.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, email. It's all right there, plus the live video feed. It's the Joe Pags Show. Glad to have you along for the ride. Really glad to have this guy back, the president over at judicialwatch.org. It is Tom Fitton. Tom, how are you?
Hey, Joe. Good to be with you again.
It's always an absolute pleasure, my man. You've got a new book coming out, A Republic Under Assault. It's available for pre-order right now. And, of course, you're a New York Times bestselling author. And the other titles that you should already have, The Corruption Chronicles and Clean House, are available as well. Listen, there's a lot going on that we're being diverted from watching with the riots and the racial disruption. And a lot of this back at Mount Rushmore is no good anymore. You've got all this other crap happening. Nobody's focusing attention on Obamagate and what the deep state had tried to do to this president, and probably continuing to try to do. Let's, if we can, catch people up. How high a level did it go with the deep state attempt to not let this guy take office as president and not remain president once he did take office? Does it go as high as Obama?
Oh, it sure does. It starts in the Oval Office with President Obama and Vice President Biden. We've got testimony and documentary evidence showing that Obama and Biden knew about the dossier. They unmasked Flynn, Biden directly. And we know that at the time Flynn was unmasked, the FBI had already concluded he had done nothing wrong. And yet Biden and Obama specifically, set Comey up like a wind-up toy and directed him on the table to target General Flynn and President Trump. Really outrageous. And what's frustrating to me is the Justice Department refuses to seriously investigate Obama and Biden's role. Barr all but ruled out that they'll even be questioned.
Yeah, but Barr appears to be the guy that we wanted in that job. He appears tough. Why stop then? Biden is openly lying today that he didn't know anything about anything. Susan Rice is lying. She didn't know anything about anything, even though she wrote an email to herself protecting herself. Obama is like untouchable. Why do you think that is?
Because the Justice Department is essentially run by Obama, at least, the level 2 or 3 below Attorney General Barr. And they're loath to bring in presidents to talk to them anyway because of constitutional issues. But if you want to find out what happened about Obamagate, let's say that he's innocent. Let's say he's not a target. Certainly he's a witness, and he should know what Comey knew and others knew about these unmaskings, about what was going on, what he was being told. Was Obama being lied to?
It's a great
he's
question.
A witness in the least.
Yeah.
Were they lying to Obama about the dossier, about what was in it? About the fact that there was no Russia collusion, that they know about it and told Obama otherwise? I think that's an interesting area of inquiry. And the fact that, frankly, forget about Obama and Biden being questioned. I'm not aware of any senior official in the Obama administration being questioned under oath or being put before a grand jury. When was Durham appointed? Do you know when he was appointed?
I don't know the date, no.
April of 2019. It's now July. And not one indictment. Compare and contrast that to the Mueller operation. They had indictments and prosecutions almost out of the bat. And now we're told that, maybe it will happen in the summer. Maybe there'll be something in the summer. Oh, the COVID, we can't have the grand juries. All sorts of excuse making for inaction. I'm tired of it.
Yeah. And I don't blame you. It's Tom Fitton, president of judicialwatch.org. Get his new book. You can pre-order it right now. It's called A Republic Under Assault, which is true. We're a republic under assault. But if we're afraid to go after Obama, and let's say that the deep state is too deep, they can't go after Biden because of politics, and he's the presumptive nominee, who can you get to? Can it go as high as Comey? Can it be Brennan? These two idiots are out there acting like they were angels, and we're trying to save our country somehow. Can you get Rice, who we know tried to cover her own rear end? Who is the level? We're just going to get the one FBI guy that changed the demarcation of who Carter Page was? Is that really the only guy who's going to fall for this?
It looks that way. I mean, that's what's frustrating about this. I mean, look. The IG referred Comey for criminal prosecution. They declined. Comey, who leaked illegally the president's FBI files, which included classified information, he lied about it. They didn't prosecute him. McCabe lied about it. McCabe, what's interesting about Andrew McCabe? He was referred for criminal prosecution for lying and leaking as well. And his leaks made Hillary Clinton look bad. So they're so desperate to protect the Obama gang that even when Hillary Clinton is the victim, they're not willing to prosecute anyone
Wow.
because it would confirm President Trump's belief that McCabe, who was running the operation against Trump, was no good.
It's amazing. It's amazing what people get away with, but that's a real turn of events. Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton have gotten away with everything for 30 years, even more than that. And now it seems they're willing to throw them under the bus. That's how deep this goes. I mean, that's kind of startling, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, look, they work with Hillary Clinton. They smear her when necessary, but in the end, they were trying to protect her. They had the institutional issues of the Justice Department and FBI during the campaign. They're thinking, well, how far can we go in terms of making Hillary Clinton look bad without politically undermining her?
Wow.
And now, if you're Hillary Clinton, you think they went too far. If you're a regular American, you see Hillary Clinton's lawyers working with the Justice Department to target Trump. That dossier that Hillary Clinton paid for in a joint operation with the Obama FBI, as an unprecedented intervention by the FBI in a political campaign. And you kind of see that she was able to not only avoid prosecution, but set in motion the attack on Trump to try to intervene in the campaign, and then after the fact, continue with the Obama gang to try to destroy him through this seditious conspiracy against him and remove him from office.
It's Tom Fitton. He's the president, judicialwatch.org. Get there. They do incredible reporting, uncovering things that the big media is not going to tell you about. Hey, Hillary Clinton is the topic. Let's talk about her email scandal. What's the latest on that? Will you get to interview her or not?
Well, we don't know. A lower court agreed that we should interview her and authorized her deposition in-person testimony under oath to Judicial Watch attorneys. She made a desperate appeal, a writ of mandamus, kind of like what General Flynn said, did against Judge Sullivan. And she's taking the legal view that she's too important to testify, that she has an indisputable right not to testify, even though a judge is concerned about what she was doing and all the skullduggery around her email usage and the games that were played with the court and the destruction of emails and things like that. So we'll see what the appellate court rules. In the ordinary, if it were anyone else, there'd be no question she testifies.
Right. If it were us, we'd be in prison by now, I think.
I mean, the fact that we are still trying to get her testimony in the year 2020 tells you all you need to know about how she's been protected.
Well, she's certainly above the law. There's no doubt there, and we've known that for a long time. But you keep fighting, and you guys are doing an amazing job. You could have given this up a while ago. I'm glad that you're not. It's Tom Fitton, judicialwatch.org. Let's talk about voter fraud if we can. Voter ID laws are clear. They're simple. You can't steal my vote if you don't show up and show an ID and prove that you are Joe Pagliarulo when you go and vote. It's very simple. I am enfranchised and not disenfranchised because I am protecting my identity when I go and do my duty to go vote in these elections. Soros and others you've uncovered are the ones that are financing the fight against voter ID. The fight, I would guess, for mail-in balloting, which is a petri dish for voter fraud. Fill me in on this.
Well, voter fraud the risk for voter fraud is increased when you have people not voting in person, voting somewhere else, voting at home or places where they can be intimidated, and where you got questions about the provenance and chain of custody about a vote. And in places like California, where they're going to have millions of mailed ballots, you also have a dirty voting list. You have ballot harvesting, where you'll have people wandering the neighborhoods looking for those ballots. And again, more opportunities for voter intimidation and fraud. The left is trying to scare people from voting in person by pushing this mail-in ballot scheme.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, it's beginning to get too late to change the rules. So they're going to try to rely on the courts to do so, and they're having not as much success as I thought they might. So there's some good news there, but I still think because of this increased emphasis on mail-in ballots, you're going to have more confusion and chaos on Election Day. And we may not know who won for weeks, if not months, because of the mess the left is trying to make. with our elections using coronavirus as a pretext.
And by the way, if voter harvesting happens and people are like, well, what's wrong with that? Somebody stops by and grabs your ballot. If the person has one side in mind, what's to stop that person from getting rid of the ballots that are voting R and keeping the ballots that are voting D? Or maybe just going to neighborhoods that you know historically are going to vote one way or the other and ignoring the other neighborhoods. I mean, that's a real problem.
Well, and that's why we should be encouraging people to vote in person. That's the most secure way to vote. You can shop, you can protest, you can vote in person. And I think that's one of the reasons we have this media, this effort by the left and the media to scare people from voting in person and highlighting the coronavirus crisis that really isn't there. I think the irony is that it's the leftists that are going to be suppressing the vote because they're scaring people from voting in person.
Right.
People don't really want to vote by mail in numbers that is suggested. Many people don't trust the mails, rightly so, and are concerned about it. And so when it comes time to vote, they're going to be nervous about all the rhetoric saying it's dangerous to vote in person because of COVID. So they are the ones suppressing the vote, in my view.
Yeah. We
should be encouraging people to vote in person. It's secure and it's safe. And to suggest otherwise is as suppressive of the vote as anything else I'm hearing.
The name of the new book is A Republic Under Assault, The Left's Ongoing Attack on American Freedom. It's Tom Fitton. He's the author. He's the president over judicialwatch.org. Go and pre-order that book right now. Tom, maybe 30 seconds or so on sanctuary cities, the illegality of sanctuary cities, and why you find them to be so dangerous.
Well, you can have a wall 100 foot high at the border, but if every major city is a sanctuary for illegal aliens to live, work, and frankly commit crimes without fear of being deported, that wall won't be as effective as it can be.
Yeah.
And of course, the rule of law is important too, because sanctuary cities undermine the rule of law by helping illegal aliens stay here in violation of law. And of course, they're harmful to the public safety because a key element of sanctuary policies is to protect criminal aliens from being turned over to feds for deportation. So they release the worst of the worst who go on to commit heinous crimes that otherwise could have been prevented if they had been deported if these lawless sanctuary cities were cooperating with the feds on enforcing our immigration laws as opposed to undermining them.
Exactly right. Always great information, always great reporting at judicialwatch.org. Go there right now. Go follow him on all the social media at Tom Fitton. It is Tom Fitton, the president at Judicial Watch. Get this new book, A Republic Under Assault. Tom, thanks a million.
You're welcome, Joe. Thanks for covering it.
Back after this on the Joe Pag Show. Stay right here.